still out. He'll be back on Thursday. We talked some Masters numbers earlier in the show. Want to talk, and I didn't think I'd be saying this today, some WNBA draft numbers. My goodness, the Caitlyn Clark effect, we knew it was real when they were playing actual games, but they saw a massive increase. Last year, about 500,000 people watched that draft in the WNBA. This year, 2.45 million.
Almost 2 million more people tuned in. It's the first time I've ever watched the WNBA draft. And by the way, we didn't, we had it on, and I'm not going to say that we were staring at it the whole time, but the fact, again, give credit to the women's game because it's not just Caitlyn Clark. Now, Caitlyn Clark is the reason why anyone tuned in.
She's moving the needle now.
But there were 3 or 4 other players that were kind of household names that if you've been following. Brink was someone that people wanted to watch. Angel Reese. And by the way, I don't think this is sexist. I think it helps for a lot of men that a lot of these gals were really attractive.
Absolutely.
Like the Angel Reese, Cameron Brink dress photos.
They're stunning.
Dude, that thing was everywhere. I mean, hundreds of thousands of retweets. I mean, we had that, our Vancouver Ford text line, we're blowing up with that. Will's over there, like that. Will's just thinking in some way, if he can just get a meeting with Cameron Brink,
a DM might have been sent.
Go halvesies on a fetus together. That kid's going to be worth millions. Your 2 genetic height.
We're both tall, good looking.
There you go.
Clearly, it's like
at least one of you.
So like there's a lot of those factors, but it doesn't happen without Caitlyn Clark. Like, again, I'd say that even in this tournament, I thought the LSU-Iowa game was the one that elevated everything. But clearly, just the fact that Caitlyn Clark, no matter what she does, draws eyeballs. She also, by the way, became the #1 selling rookie jersey in any platform ever. Ever. There's nothing. Fanatics, which, by the way, this is another strike on Fanatics, which is the most garbage company in the world. F that place. There is not a single Caitlyn Clark t-shirt, jersey, sweatshirt, whatever. All gone.
Yeah.
Like, how were you not prepared that this was going to be a big deal?
And that makes me wonder, and because it's Fanatics, my guess is it's just that they weren't prepared. But I also wonder, were they prepared for a big number and it still eclipsed that? Because they haven't said what that number is, but they said that it eclipsed when Trevor Lawrence was taken first overall.
Lawrence and Wemby and all of the big name prospects that have come through all the different sports.
But I guess on draft night, Lawrence had been the previous kind of record holder in 2021. 3 years later, it's now Caitlyn Clark.
So I don't know. I've said this a million times. I don't know where this goes. I don't know if college basketball next year, the women's game, who does have Paige Beckers is returning, Juju. I mean, there are some built-in stars already. I don't know. The game certainly is going to continue to grow, and women's sports across the board is on the rise. I don't know if anyone can pick up the baton that Caitlyn Clark left. I hope so, but we may see this thing swing back significantly. Now, the real question that I think is more puzzling to me is, can this do anything for the WNBA?
Right, because I think finally you're at a place where it's maybe not just one person. It's like, oh, that gal can dunk, or oh, she was really good at Tennessee for those 4 years. Like, you're getting a handful of stars that I feel like, I don't know if I would consider them household names, but closer than that league has ever been, and all coming in at the same time.
And you're getting some S talk.
You're
hearing the Tarasis of the world and that are taking shots and saying, hey, there's going to be a rude awakening and you're going to have a target on your back. So, I think the highest rated WNBA game of all time is right around 1 million people. I think it was one of the Las Vegas Aces championship games. 1 million people. Caitlyn Clark was doing 12 million in like the Sweet 16.
And she got $2.5 million for the draft last night.
Yeah. So, and what was it, 20 something, I think, for the final against against
18.7 million, I think.
Just under 20.
Just under 20.
But it beat the men's by 4 million.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I'm interested. I want to see, if this can translate, because there's part of me that just from the history of the WNBA, I don't know if anything can get a summer sport like that penetrates the masses. But if there is, I am done betting against Caitlyn Clark. So I thought there'd be a drop off after LSU.
I think we all did.
I'm like, I know that there's going to be a big audience, but I was like, the LSU one was the perfect storm. There'll be a drop. There wasn't. It just kept growing and growing and growing and growing. So, that game one, if the WNBA is smart, I don't know what the schedule is, but they should do the Indiana Fever versus wherever the hell Diana Taurasi plays. Because, Taurasi's the one kind of taking some shots. Dude, get a big matchup there where someone is going to go at her and drop an elbow and maybe get a little rivalry going. Build on that. You have a generational star. This is what baseball does such a piss poor job at. It's like you get a guy like Ohtani, and it's to market the blank out of that. Mike Trout, Mookie Betts, Adley Rutschman. You've got some really great young players, or have had in the past with the Mike Trout thing.
And haven't done anything with it.
Push them.
Yeah.
So the WNBA, even if it pisses off the rest of the WNBA, who cares? Market the living hell out of Caitlyn Clark. And if you're those other players in the WNBA, you can be mad all you want, but realize that the Caitlyn Clark's contract is like $72,000 a year in the WNBA for each year she plays.
Yeah, no, the most she will make will be 4 years from now. The last year of her contract, $76,000.
And the reason why that is, and please stop with this is egregious that the women get paid like this. They don't make any money because no one buys tickets and no one tunes in, and the TV deal is crap. The only reason the league exists in the first place is the WNBA is subsidized
and
it
if
for
the
2
Caitlyn
decades.
Clark effect is real and they can start charging a lot more for advertising,
everyone gets paid.
Everyone gets paid more.
So you can be pissy that Caitlyn Clark is getting all this attention and that, oh, well, we had great players before that. Sure. But if she gets everyone paid and she gets more eyeballs and people start appreciating what you're doing and more people pay and pay attention and more people go to games and the TV deals go up, everyone gets paid. It's like when Tiger Woods was at his peak. Some people didn't like the coverage, but he got golfers paid.
Yep.
And Caitlyn Clark so far has gotten everyone paid. So you cannot like it, but you sure as hell better embrace it.
What do they say? A rising tide lifts all boats?
Because that young woman, she moves the needle like not many things.
And she's taking people with her.
I can't remember the last time like I said, maybe I have to go back to Tiger back in the 90s, 97, 98 when he won the Masters, trying to take someone who just grabbed a sport and said, get on my back, I'm going to make people pay attention to it. And Caitlyn Clark is doing that right now. Whether she deserves it or not, it's a moot point. People are watching in ridiculous droves.